We are talking Lake Placid Legacy. It's hard to imagine that Lake Placid series actually started off as a legitimate cinema-worthy film and has degenerated into a kind of sci-fi, asylum level, kind of schlocky B-movie, TV movie style thing. But here it is. Here is the franchise, however many movies it has now. This one is directed by Darrell, and doesn't really have any kind of named actors as such here. The story focuses on a group of urban explorers that get called in to go into this kind of like remote island which has been fenced off for kind of some reasons, and there's kind of a no one really knows why. People have these wild theories and stuff like that, but they go there and it's a real flimsy reason why they get called to this island, I've got to say. Anyway, one there they kind of find that there is of course this huge mutant crocodile which is preventing them from leaving, and it's ultimately a matter of trying to survive, trying to get out, as their numbers start to dwindle. So there you go, pretty much what you're going to expect from this type of movie. Made for TV. Let's talk about what works first of all. I was actually surprised at the level of gore in this film, and actually thought there is actually a fair amount of blood on screen here, with some reasonable kind of prosthetic effects, quite a lot of kind of fake blood, but it looks pretty good. I've got to say the actual prosthetics in regards to severed limbs and heads and stuff like that all looks fairly good, and you do see quite a lot of it on screen. I actually thought the location shooting here was pretty good, and the kind of the set dressing and everything like that. It actually looks like when you start to watch this movie, it maybe is a higher budget movie than it really is. I mean, the budget will show later on, which we'll come on to in the negatives, but when you're kind of watching it, the way this movie is filmed, set dressing, actually looks like it's actually made with a reasonably high production value. The cast, I think, all are pretty good here actually. I mean, there's no kind of clunkers in regards to hammy acting really. I mean, you're never going to win an Oscar for Lake Placid Legacy, are you? But I actually thought the acting here was pretty good across the board here, with no kind of like standout clunkers or anything like that. So that was all pretty good. But what doesn't work for me? Well, I think they're a little stingy on the actual crocodile effects itself here. For a start, we don't really see the crocodile until very kind of late in the movie. It's more of just kind of quick shots and kind of like shadows and stuff like that for the most part. So that was disappointing. When we finally do see some shots of the crocodile, it's a horrendous, badly CGI'd creation that then goes, oh, there's the no budget basically. It's a it's a particularly kind of bad looking kind of CGI monster. I was surprised that they didn't use more practical effects, because there are instances where you have close-ups and stuff like that. I think it would have benefited from having more practical effects and only having CGI for kind of like wide shots and stuff like that. The editing is awful. Awful editing in this movie. There's really horrible cuts. For example, we have a scene where there's a guy who is sort of trapped in this room, and he kind of looks out this kind of porthole window, and then you kind of outside the crocodile comes up and you sort of see its eye, and then in the next shot it's just his head falls on his headless body just falls on the floor. There's a closed door, there's no wreckage or anything like that. It just doesn't make sense. There's lots of kind of crap little edits and things that kind of don't make sense on here. Some of the kind of the dialogue, even though I think the acting wasn't too bad, the dialogue as well is kind of TV movie level, what you'd expect here, with some really kind of like hammy kind of like explanations about what's going on. I mean, I think the actual reasons why these guys went there in the first place was a bit ridiculous, and then we have some some crap dialogue as well from our kind of corporate guy that we find in there. There's some somewhat annoying characters. We have these two sisters that kind of one of them is just constantly screaming and kind of like needs to be saved all the time, obviously the younger one. There's no real surprises in regards to, I think, who lives. And this crocodile seems to be able to teleport. And this is a mild spoiler, so to be warned. Throughout the film, this crocodile seems to be everywhere and can creep up on people with seemingly no sound. It doesn't make sense. Now, not once does it occur to the people in this movie that there may be more than one, and then we even get told that there is only one later on in the movie. But obviously, people just think, how can this crocodile be literally behind us in one scene, and then the next scene it's like, we've run to somewhere and it's ahead of us. It doesn't make sense. And then there's a reveal at the end, of course. Probably you can guess what's going to happen. Yeah, it just seems like it's put together, not really much thought's been put behind it, but when there has been some kind of skill in regards to some of the technical side of stuff, in regards to the camera work and that sort of stuff, but it just seems to be a little bit of a kind of thrown together movie without kind of, not really kind of any finesse on it ultimately. So I'll give this film a 4 out of 10. Have you seen it? What did you think of it? Leave me a comment and I shall look forward to you next time. Bye for now.